Well, the market dumped, but there is some good news. If you're an XRP holder, the new ETF for Canary Capital went live yesterday, and boy, did it do well. Let's break down exactly what went on with it and some pretty bullish news for the rest of today and early next week. We could be about to see some insane inflows into these ETFs, and I've got the absolute fact sheet that's going to tell us all about it. So smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with all the latest in cryptocurrency content. With that being said, let's get into it. So with the first legitimate US spot ETF for XRP launching just yesterday, guess what? It did $58 million in its first day of trading, more successful than be sold by about $1 million. The two of them are in a league of their own. And well, the reality is the third place ETF's around $20 million away. So this was, well, kind of did exactly what we expected. Huge amounts of inflows going into this ETF. And I know what people are going to say, too, but did you see the price? It went down a little bit. Every single ETF that's launched in the crypto market dumps, right? It just happens. And on a day where we saw massive capitulation in the markets, I actually think this ETF did exactly as we predicted, which was Wall Street as well as everyone else getting involved. And I therefore think there is going to be some big capital flowing into this. Think about this though. The initial setup or the seed creation was 10,000 shares with a NAV of $25 per share. That's around 250,000 proceeds used to purchase XRP. And well, with XRP's price, well, it was a little bit cheaper actually by the end of the day. It's roughly 100,000 XRP or 10 XRP going into this ETF per share. Remember, we talked about this a lot. The native asset will be part of these ETFs, and I think this is worth noting. The creation unit size was around 40,000 shares per unit, and for in-kind creations and redemptions, authorized participants deliver a proportional basket XRP deposit, e.g. 400,000 XRP for a full unit at current backing levels. So as this scales and as people get invited and excited, it's going to drive a ton of XRP into this particular ETF. Think about this. The actual Canary XRP ETF fact sheet, where it kind of breaks down exactly what it's going to be all about, what they're doing, the acts it goes on doing, well, simplified exposure to XRP. It's a pretty interesting document. It's going to keep us updated with what's happening, but just to give you a couple of insights in it, you can see there that the digital asset custodians are BitGo and Gemini. We obviously know Gemini has that credit card, pretty bullish indeed, and that the idea of the sponsor fee around 5% or 0.5%. But what's interesting here is the holdings I want to just bring your attention to. 2.2 million XRP with a market value of around $5.2 million is currently what's in this particular ETF. Now, this will be updated every day. I'll keep you guys updated as well what's going on, but what you can see here is there is an incredible amount of demand. And I think what's even more bullish is the official About XRP statement. It's fast and efficient transactions, fixed supply, and then secure and decentralized. Transaction fees at a fraction of a cent with average daily trading volume in excess of $4 billion and widespread adoption. So Canary Capital know exactly, in my opinion, what they have invested in. And well, the reality is they want to tell everybody what is going on. Pretty exciting indeed, but that is not all. We obviously had lots of announcements of these further issuance of XRP ETFs, things like Franklin Templeton, Bitwise, 21 shares, and CoinShares, with Grayscale and WisdomTree also heading to the table. And we're even getting inside intel that's telling us Fidelity may be round the corner. So when are we expecting these to go live? We could even get Franklin Templeton today. Now, again, we have to see these filings come through, and we haven't really seen anything like we saw with Canary Capital. So it's probably going to be more likely next week. But understand that if each one of these did similar kind of numbers, bearing in mind Canary Capital's relatively small, we could see some massive volume heading into these ETFs. So much so that, well, the XRP price predictions after these first ETFs have gone live, people are now officially talking about $100 price point. Now, you know me, I'm not going to get into this narrative that I think XRP is going to $100 tomorrow, but the fact of the hard facts of the matter here is this volume going into these particular ETFs is very bullish. The fact they're going to custody XRP within that, and by the looks of it, they're going to be using BitGo and Gemini as that kind of main source, which again, people are pretty bullish on because of the XRP ETF, the XRP credit card. Well, the reality is that people are eyeing some big moves. First though, before you can run, you have to be able to walk. And in fact, eyes are now set on a potential $5 price point. How do we get there? Well, first and foremost, we need the markets to absolutely come with us. But once we start to see some of these big scooping transactions where we start to see big amounts of money flowing around in the markets. Well, this is going to give us an idea as to exactly what's happening. When do the buys come in? How much are they going to be? And where are they going to be held? And I think this is going to be important, because when we start to see some of these big moves, well, the reality is, I'm sure people are going to be very much aligned to what's going on. Now, obviously, we can check in terms of some of these moves. Remember, we broke here what some of that seeding number was, and more importantly, how big those transactions were. So we will keep you up to date, but make sure you follow me on social media, because I will post them on there as and when we see them. These will be whale alerts, massive buys that are going in, and I think it's just going to pump these XRP ETFs full of XRP. That's when we could even maybe entertain the idea of $100 XRP, $1,000 XRP, if we were getting billions of dollars of volume into these ETFs. Sounds crazy, but when Wall Street buy, we know they buy big, and XRP might just be the ETF they've all been waiting for. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and drop in the comments, who do you think lists their XRP ETF next? Do you think it's going to be Wisdom Tree? Could it be Franklin Templeton, Bitwise, 21 shares? Let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget, check out the links in the description. If you want to go and trade all your favorite cryptocurrencies, check out BitUnix, link at the top of the description. 30% rebate, no KYC, great exchange. Check it out. Right, until next time, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.